Nice.
I would say today is mail day. And I don't have enough desk space for this, but we're going to just open it here at my desk and I'm going to just take it out of the box and show you guys kind of what we're working with. But as you guys probably already saw, this is a package from Carbon Systems. Now, this is going to be a full unboxing, and I apologize if my desk is shaking. I'm doing standing desk. I was going to do it at my kitchen table. I don't really have the room and I don't feel like moving everything, truth be told. And on top of that, I've recorded a couple videos and I love my big camera, like when I do things outside. Every once in a while I get it doesn't focus and then I do the whole video, and this is an unboxing. I only have like one attempt to really do it. So I'm going to walk you guys through kind of the unboxing experience of something from Carbon Systems and tell you guys a little bit about how I ended up with this package. So I actually got this package because of all of you guys, right? Let me open this side here. But I've mentioned Carbon Systems about 1,000 times on this channel, and truth be told, I'm going to put this down here for a second. They like getting shoutouts, and they said, "Hey, we would love to do something with you." I said, "That sounds great," and they said, "We'd like to sponsor something," and I said, "Okay." And truth be told, this is a sponsored video, but they gave me carte blanche to say whatever I want when it comes to this whole video. They said, you could say whatever you want. We appreciate you sending people over. I've heard great things about their stuff already. So just so you guys can see here kind of what's in the box and what it's going to look like. This is the box. Just the box condition on the outside, I don't believe is them. I think this is UPS. But my UPS driver, love him to death. But the UPS, and I don't think it's him either, but I think the UPS factory that things get shipped to my house in, most of my boxes are abused, is the easiest way for me to say this. So, and the cool part is I went through the entire configuration process with them, and I said, look, this is what I want. So I said I want a little USB hub because I do have a lot of auxiliary things, whether that's plugging in a mouse, the microphone, all that kind of stuff. So I did get their U Green, I guess is the brand. And I don't want to, I'm not allowed to talk about pricing. That was the only thing they asked. I said, please don't talk about pricing because they don't want your customers to go find their stuff online, and they don't want somebody to stumble upon this video and say, oh, okay, this is how much they charge for a computer, because they are designed for MSPs here. And this is it. This is, I think there's only two things in this box, and we have a, oh, this is like a heavy computer. I'm actually like really impressed. So on the back, you have Carbon Systems here. I'm going to read it out just so you guys know. So it's a SKU DW14U9, comes with Windows 11 Pro. The specs on the computer. So I was able to pre-config everything that I wanted in here to a large degree. So it's an Ultra 9 185H with 64 gigs of RAM, a 4070 GPU, and then two terabyte sticks of SSD storage, because I like to throw a lot of the videos on one SSD, and then I like to have a boot drive as the other SSD. As well, before I throw everything onto an external hard drive, because I do back up my videos. It's the only thing I really care about being backed up, and they're just huge files half the time. But this is a hefty computer. Now this is an Asus Nuke Performance. I was well aware of what I was going to get. They do give you a nice little security sticker here, but if you were to bring this to a client's office, this looks very legit. Now this is not the exact same thing that you would normally get if you're buying a less aggressive computer, and then that's it. That's everything that was in here. But I will say, even for my typical UPS shipping facility, this is not as, this box looks great. I mean, other than that, there's probably one tiny little, hey, they probably threw it one or two times, but I'm actually shocked at how good of a condition this is actually in. All right, it's a hefty one. This is 13 pounds. I actually thought the weight would be somewhere on the back here, but there is the model numbers that they all use, right? And the nice part is it doesn't allow anyone to actually see what this costs, which is truly the benefit of what they provide. So I'm going to do a little unboxing here just so you guys can see the experience. For their smaller machines, I know that they are less branded than even this, so that's always cool. And then, I mean, as far as an unboxing experience goes, well, I like that. There's a little magnet in there. Um, I don't know. It's a heavy computer here, and then you can see it's already pre-configured, so they've already opened it. They've already thrown on their own stuff because I would hope a consumer grade computer wouldn't have, GGPC1, but that's what they asked me for. They said, what do you want to name this computer? And this is it. This is the whole thing. I assume the rest of the box has some other stuff in it, power supply and all that. I'm guessing. I don't actually even know. But this thing is hefty for sure. It comes with, I have two USB 3.0s in the front, a SSD card or a SD card reader, obviously your headphone jack here, and I will share that so you guys can see. Um, Hopefully it's a little easier to see here. And then as far as branding goes, I mean, there's really there's no brand. The only branding thing that I see on the bottom is, if you could see here, there is a Asus thing in the top corner. I mean, that I don't know exactly how, and I know that this is kind of not. This is slightly out of what they normally do. This is one of their beefier computers, and they've had people use these for gaming, for all that. And in the next video, I'm going to be stress testing this. I'm going to be putting this through editing 4K. I'm going to be putting this through probably some video games just to really see how it is. And then the back has a ton of ports on there. So if you could see, hopefully I can get this to focus here. Come on, computer, focus, because this is not the latest little box. Maybe, maybe not. All right, so two display ports, one HDMI, a lightning bolt, Ethernet, and then four USBs, two USB 3.0s, and two USB 2.0s. So quite a bit of stuff on here. And then there's this little switch in the back. To be honest, I don't know what it is. I probably shouldn't touch it yet until I figure it out. But that's the beast of the computer here. And then in the rest of the box, we have the Asus safety information, right? Because they are not completely custom building computers. They do have a little mount, which is nice. So this thing could sit vertical. It'll take up way less desk space. And like I said, the real thing, they even have a VESA mount on this. I think it's on the bottom of the computer. Maybe. Nope. There's probably an extra part on here to have a VESA mount. They asked me about it. I think I declined it because I said I'm not going to put it on a monitor stand or anything like that. Um, so the only thing is the power supply is not inside the device. I had a feeling the power supply is totally separate. It even says on the power supply Intel i9 Ultra. That's a little sticker I could throw on there, which is pretty sweet. Um, and that's the box is much, much lighter. It's a very nice box though, very premium feel to it. It's got, let me see if I could turn this thing around here. But that's really it. I mean, there's nothing else. There's nothing else that screams like, hey, I'm sure this is some basic accessories in here that you probably need. And you could get, yeah, a power cable. You can get a bunch of other stuff too. I think that's everything in the box. I hope I'm not missing anything, because I'm going to feel like I did a bad job with this unboxing. No, I think that's everything in the box. So that's it. So if you have a customer that gets this thing, they know exactly that, they know that it says Asus on it, and then it says Carbon Systems, right, from their stuff, their address on it. And that's it. There's no like, hey, call Asus or anything like that. They're going to end up calling you, which is pretty cool. But nice box. I mean, the box is definitely a nice premium feel to it. It shows you what it's going to look like on the side, which is pretty sweet. And then as far as the actual um, hardware itself is nice. I mean, this is definitely not like a cheap feeling type computer here. It feels quite premium. They have the front type thing on here. I guess I'll just toss this in here. Um, if my Carbon Systems people are watching, I'm sorry if I'm doing any of this wrong. But there it is. This is the new computer of growth generators. I'm gonna play around with it. I'm gonna put it through a stress test. I'm gonna see how it is. Power supply is a beefy one. I mean, honestly, I don't know if I would want to take this around with me, but I feel like it's small enough, to be honest with you, that if I did want to move it around and bring it either to my parents' house or if I'm traveling, am I going to bring an extra monitor? Absolutely not. I'm going to keep the laptop that I currently have. But overall, I mean, as far as like a customer unboxing thing, this is great. I mean, these little computers, you could tell here that there's two gigantic fans on the bottom of it. They've said they've had no overheating issues or anything like that. Um, I love my dogs to death, but they do make a fair amount of um, dust and all of that. And we open the door about 1,000 times per day. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with just what I'm seeing out of the box here. And then if you got, you sent this to a customer, you're probably going to be fine. This is a pretty cool computer from Carbon Systems. So let's pull up their website here. All right, so I have their website up, and let's just take a quick little look at it. So, in many cases, they have these white labeled machines, right? White labeled computer. And when I say white label, I'm there is no label. I mean, it just as you guys have already seen on this, there's one little spot that says Asus on it, and I don't think that that's going to be a make or break type thing at all. I mean, there is no pricing for any of this, which is the benefit of it, right? They're working on a bunch of cool stuff, but you can go through, see the notebooks that they have, and their notebooks, you have an Iridium 16 and Iridium 14 here. You can get them kind of spec'd however you want, see what's included, i5, right? It talks a little bit about it. You can sign up, have the conversation with them, and go through. I mean, it's pretty sweet. They show you what it looks like. I would love to see the front of the computer. That's probably my only the only thing that I don't love, but like here on the desktop, you can see that there's nothing on there that says, "Hey, this is so and so's branded computer" or anything like that. A desktop that does it all. So they're definitely into the small form factor type things, right? Ready to go with Windows 11. But the nice part is for us as in the MSP world is we can pre-configure this. I just put it back here so I don't accidentally knock it over because I would probably cry a lot. But we, as the experts, can config computers as we want. And that's truly the biggest benefit across the board with all of this. We don't want to have competing with customer pricing. And on top of that, the only thing that they're going to see that says Carbon Systems on it is if you do decide to mail a customer or leave the garbage at your customer's site, which I would highly recommend taking it with you, is there's just Carbon Systems. So when somebody actually goes over to their website, there is no pricing at all. You cannot find pricing on their website. They are super, super secretive. When we were talking about what I need to do in the video, or like what they asked me to, they said, look, we don't care what you do. You can talk smack about it. You can, give your full, true feedback about this computer. That's what we want. They said that was truly, we just want to send you the computer, make us a video or two. We appreciate you sending us a bunch of business, and you should, because I've mentioned them hundreds of times. This is not like somebody called me up and I said, let me go vet them. Like, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into here when they said, we'd like to send you a computer. But they are super secret with their pricing. They don't even show me the pricing for the most part. The only thing I got to see was pricing for this computer specifically. They were like, look, if you make the YouTube video, we do give you access to the back end, please do not show any of the pricing. We don't want a single person to know what the pricing is for the computer. And that's a huge benefit to you guys because I consistently hear people say, well, the competitor's looking, or they're just going to buy the same computer on Amazon or whatever it is, or they're going right to Dell and they're buying the computer. That ends with Carbon Systems. That's the coolest part about it. And they assemble and build these computers in Santa Rosa, California here. I don't want to lie to you guys, but Santa Rosa, California. Yeah. And then they ship them out from there. This computer was configured and ordered Monday. By the time I'm actually recording this is Wednesday at just before noon. So in 2 days, it was at my door. I actually forgot about it because I was like, all right, it'll just be here pretty quickly. And they were like, yeah, it's usually like 2 day shipping. And I was like, okay, I've heard that a million times. The only thing that does 2 day shipping is Amazon. And sure enough, it was here. And the coolest part about this is it comes pre-labeled. You can load your RMM tool on there or your PSA tool combined if they are, right? They'll do a bunch of different things for you. They'll build the computer as you want. They package it up and then they send it off to either you or they could send it right off to the customer's site. If you feel like your customers are capable of basically taking this giant brick out of the I say brick because it's rectangular and heavy. But all they have to do is plug it in, and then that's it. And there's one little power port up here I just saw. That's all they have to do. and then they're off to the races with this computer. And that's the coolest part about it. If you have trouble, it's not like going through Dell. In some cases, if you're a Dell partner, you can get some great help, but they're there to help you. I've every time I call them, they answer the phone within probably the second ring. What is that? Maybe 5 seconds here. They have a support area. You can call them, bother them for support. You can sign into their system here. You can contact them. They are the friendliest people out there. I truly, truly enjoy the fact that they were willing to sponsor a computer for us. I enjoy the fact that they have been super fun to work with. I don't even get a kickback when you guys call them up, truthfully, full transparency. I just liked it. If you go back to my old videos, you'll see them mentioned all over the place. And I'm glad that they finally made the decision to send me something because it's just, I want to help you guys. I really want to help. I'm getting goosebumps. I really want to help you guys build your MSP. If I'm going to talk about a vendor, I want to make sure that that vendor is as legit as it could possibly be. So that way, you guys on the other end of the camera have the best possible experience. Because the last thing I want, and at the time of making this, they're doing a great job, and I assume they're going to keep making and doing a great job. But the last thing I want is somebody on the other end of this camera to say, he's recommending bad stuff. That would ruin my credibility, truthfully, and that would kill me inside. This is super exciting. This is, once again, this is an unboxing. I'm going to put it through its paces probably tonight and the next day or two here before that video comes out, and I'm sure it's going to say his carbon system's legit, and I'm going to run some video editing. I'm going to run some video games on this. I'm going to run them at the highest possible settings. It is a 4070. It's not a 5070 card yet, and that's fine. I'm totally fine with that. But it is a beast, and I need the CPU power to edit 4K. When I do edit 4K, I want to start recording my YouTube videos fully in 4K so you guys can see how bald I actually am. And truthfully, I want to make it so it's a better experience for you guys. And what I have now barely gets me through. I'm hoping that this is the future of the company and really gives me the horsepower to be as creative as I can be to keep bringing you guys the best possible videos. Alrighty, I need to make one little update to this video here because I just had my MSP Heroes membership meeting and there was some kind of talk about some different things that people have read online. Number one was, is the plastic cheap and does it feel cheap on this? Now, they gave me full transparency on what I can say. This feels the furthest thing from a cheap plastic, cheap, poorly built product. And I'm not just saying that. Truthfully, I'm not going to drop it because it's expensive, but nothing about this feels cheap, feels fake, feels like they cut any corner on it. There's fans. The only thing that I could see maybe somebody saying is like, "Oh, well, the bottom, the plastic feels cheap." Well, if you look, right, and I'm going to hold this up here. There's two giant coolers on the bottom. That is what I would like. They have the perforations. I think that's the right word through here. That's probably the only spot when I like squeeze it to feel that there's any slight give to this whole thing. Truthfully, I think I mean, that's just where the fans go. I mean, it's just less material, but nothing about this feels cheap or the plastic feels cheap. Truthfully, that was one thing that was said online. The second thing is there is a ton of attachments and things like that that this can come with. So this can come with a VESA mount for either behind a monitor or on its own monitor stand. You can hook up a VESA mount and mount it to the wall if you wanted to mount it to the wall. I opted for as few things as possible. My office is not that big, and I don't have room for extra stuff. I actually just spent the whole weekend going through and throwing out a ton of stuff. That being said, when they were like, "Hey, do you want all of these things that would normally come with it that I forgot to include in the video?" I said, "No, I do not want any of it because I don't want to have to throw it out or house it or anything like that." I opted for just the desk stand. He even said, "Hey, look, we can give you an extra monitor arm too." And I said, my desk is truthfully not that big. I have a 49-inch ultra wide monitor. It literally goes end to end on both of my desks, on both sides of my desk. I have currently a laptop behind one side of it and then the dock on the other. I'm trying to remove things from my desk and reclaim some real estate space, not add more things to my desk. So you can get a bunch of different attachments to make this easier to work with and all of that. But I just got out of my heroes meeting and they were like, there's a couple things that people are saying, or what other stuff does it come with? And I did forget to include that in the video, that there is a bunch of stuff that you can choose to opt in for when it comes to this thing. I chose to opt out of a lot of it because I just wanted to replace my current machine. They have, you can ask for cables and all that too. I said, look, give me the bare necessities. I have a lot of it already. I don't need extra stuff and extra hardware, and then I feel bad throwing it out or anything like that. And just sitting there and collecting dust. I opted for the simplest thing possible when it comes to this. So, just full transparency here when I'm making this video. It just came up and I said, I got to go make an amendment to the video here, and I want to be as transparent with you guys as possible. And that GGPC one, it came from them with that on there. I didn't add that or anything for their labeling, and you can have that say whatever it is for whatever customer. Just full transparency there. So hope this helps. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Harrison Marin from growth-generators.com. If you've made it this far, I hope you hit that like button, subscribe button, that notification bell. If you want to check us out online, once again, growth-generators.com. And I'm even going to be putting them in a resource here very, very soon. Heck, by the time this video is out, there'll probably be one, but getting, I don't know what I'm going to name it yet, but it'll be somewhere on here for them, just because I think what they do, and once again, I don't get a kickback if you go by, but do let them know that I sent you. You can say the bald guy, Harrison, whomever it is, Growth Generators, sent you over there. Call them. I will give you my honest feedback. They said I could say whatever I want on this. As far as an unboxing experience, if I was a customer buying this computer from an MSP, I would be totally fine to set this up. I mean, the power supply is it's just a power supply here, which is, it's a nice long cable, which is great, into the computer, and then the standard ports. I would highly recommend your MSP go out there and set it up every single time. But if you're setting up or you have additional computers on hand at their facility, it's a very easy process. It makes life super, super simple. The customer doesn't have to add or put on the side door, open anything up. It's all there in one nice small package. So I hope you guys found value in this video. If you did, like button, subscribe button, notification bell. I love the heck out of you guys, as always. I appreciate you going through the unboxing with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And which may very well be edited and recorded on this device. I have a busy day today, but hopefully it happens for maybe tomorrow's video or sometime next week's video. Love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.